Today I would like to highlight Louise Bourgeois. She was an unconventional artist who manifested her personal experiences and emotions into psychological and symbolic works of art. Louise Bourgeois is a French-American artist who is mostly recognized for her sculptures. In this video, you will come to understand that her work and her personal experiences are deeply connected. The Easton Foundation, founded by Bourgeois, explains that her past consists of betrayals from her father, who cheated on her mother. Having a sick mother and sometimes having to take care of her and her family, and eventually coping with her death. Her artwork often consists of themes of identity, family relationships, gender, memories, and emotion. Bourgeois explored the dynamic relationships between a mother and child in her work, The Woven Child. In this work, you can see a tiny baby made of terry cloth, which was woven by Bourgeois. The baby is encapsulated by a gauze net that is suspended by a metal sieve. The baby is entirely recognizable, but the sieve represents the mother. Rosemary Betterton suggests that this is her attempt to distance herself from the artwork, as the sieve embodies a point before separation, where the baby and mother are still intertwined and enmeshed in the other's existence, before the baby grows to be its own person. Betterton says these choices were inspired by Melanie Klein's psychoanalytic theory, which, put simply, explores how the mother impacts the psychic life of a child. Bourgeois reflects on this theory, saying, "I break everything I touch because I am violent. I destroy my friendships, my love, my children. I break things because I am afraid." In creating this artwork, she is making an effort to repair the damage she has done to the relationship with her child. The net that connects the baby and the sieve symbolizes the protection a mother provides, which is a space for the child to be a child, while ensuring their psychic life is safe. According to the Museum of Modern Art, the destruction of the father is a display of a cavernous tableau. This installation is all about a fantasy of taking revenge on her father. He was the source of most of her inner psychodramas, as he betrayed her family by cheating on her mother with a governess, and often did not follow through on promises, leaving her to believe he was unreliable. Turning her pain into art. In this fantasy, her anger towards her father turns murderous, and she dismembers him and eats him up at the dinner table. This scene was constructed in a womb-like setting surrounded by red lighting, making the scene feel intense. By staging this scene in a womb, it shifts the focus from deconstructing the patriarchal dynamic to the active role of a mother in a family. This violent scene becomes a space where Bourgeois could reimagine unresolved childhood pain. In Louise's later life, she constructed many cells filled with stuff that connected to her. This is one of her cells called Eyes and Mirrors. In this cell, you can see mirrors pointing out at the viewers and two entirely black eyes. In an interview with an art historian and close friend of Bourgeois, Robert Storr explains that the eyes in the work are blind. They aren't able to see out. Instead, the mirrors act as the eyes, reflecting what the viewer sees back at them. Louise explains that she created this piece after not living with mirrors for a while. She couldn't look at herself, and in her mind, the mirror became an enemy. By working with mirrors in this piece, it became a symbol of self-acceptance. The cells essentially acted as mindscapes, where her inner turmoil was confined and also protected. However, they were displayed in a cell where the viewer can peer through and see what is going on inside. In her first cell, you can see a bed with writings on it. On the bed, it says, "Pain is the ransom of formalism." Alex Potts, an art historian, explains this saying as a price to pay to escape formalism, meaning, without the artist's pain embedded in the work, the piece cannot be anything more than its form. Pain is the cost to make a work feel meaningful and alive. Louise is aware of the viewer and their own inner turmoils. And by displaying her own, her artwork becomes more than its form. It becomes an intense interaction between the viewer and her artwork. Finally, Maman is one of Louise Bourgeois' most recognizable artworks. This sculpture takes form as a towering spider with long, spindly legs. For Louise, a spider was a powerful and deeply personal symbol, as it represented her mother. Louise describes her mother as intimidating, deliberate, clever, patient, soothing, reasonable, dainty, subtle, indispensable, neat, and as useful as a spider. The spider in this work might evoke a sense of fear, but to Louise, it was not to be feared. It was a symbol of strength, protection, and intelligence. By making the scale of it so big, she widely projects the maternal presence in this work, making it more powerful. Her work, while deeply personal and full of meaning, has the capability to reach into the viewer and evoke their own emotional response, inviting the viewer to confront their memories, emotions, and vulnerabilities. I would encourage you to look at more of her work. I will leave you with my sources if you want more information. Thank you for listening.